So Fabio, it's always great to be in Ribeira Sacra, always great to be in Algueira. This is a wonderful project. Can you explain why did you come home to this?
Why did I come home from London? Well, it was, in a way it was a hard decision in one way, but in another way it was quite easy, because if I had to come back to a project that was starting, or it was just promising, it was just like something that was starting, it would be a little bit more tricky for me to take that decision, because I would think like, is this safe? Especially when you're in a certain age, when you're like 30 years old, you have to look at your life in a different way than when you're 20. But since I already knew about this, I've been all my life involved a little bit in all this part of the business and wine culture and the food world. I liked it before taking a decision, so I was like, okay, I like this world. I was dedicating my life to music before, but I thought that maybe this could be a nice choice for me, for my partner, maybe to have a family here. And at some point I thought, like, yeah, this is definitely worth it, at least to try and see what is happening. Also, how it was projecting for the future in this area, it helped me to think this is an investment for the future too. It's not just something that is going to happen in the short term. So yeah,
that helped you make your mind up.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think is so special about Ribeira Sacra?
Many things, I think. One of the most important things that one wine appellation should have today is the projection, is the future, is that this is going somewhere, that this is not something that is too exploited or too tired, and the fatigue is not around. It's the opposite, it's the excitement, something that in the future probably is going to bring more good things that we have already. And because we are different, this is something that I think is very important today. Quality, as you know, is not the key for any project. In nothing, I think, in non-business is the key. But for wine is definitely no exception, because we have something different here. We have loads of varieties that nobody else has. We have one of the steepest terrains in the world that also makes some difference in the result of the wine. And that combination, the vineyard, the varieties, the quality that we get, the possibility of aging the bottles once the wine is in the bottle, within that is so much to do, and so much you already are perceiving, that I think that the key is that this is just different. Differentiation is probably the key of
It's a wonderful landscape here, it's a beautiful place, but it only works when the wines are good. And one of the best places to have wines, if not the best place in Ribeira Sacra, is here at Algueira. A wonderful lunch, a wonderful place to drink. One of the interesting things is you have great white wines and great red wines here. What for you characterises the whites, and what for you characterises the reds of Algueira?
Well, Galicia is a fresh area overall. We have here some high temperatures in the summer, as you can feel already. It is quite hot. But Galicia is fresh, it's Atlantic. We have this influence of the ocean, so whatever we're going to grow in Galicia, the freshness is something that is going to be everywhere, in every single wine we make. Today I think that freshness, that good level of acidity gives this life to the wines that today they work really well in the wine business. We can see it around. When you go to places maybe before they would think of Spanish wines, so these more extractive, more woody, oaky wines, that today is not so much trend. Still been amazing wines, of course, but maybe people are looking more for this like more fresh, higher acidity. So I think we can reach it in all of the wines. In the whites particularly, one of the good things of Galicia, of this area of Ribeira Sacra or Algueira, is that we are making these still fresh wines, but not as higher acidity as these other more traditional wines from Galicia. So it's more rounded, for me, more elegant, more balance in the whites. We can make young whites, aged wines, and that balance, that freshness is always going to be there. And in the reds, I think that because of these slopes, because of this soil, the steepness, we can get very good ripeness in the grape, make very tense, structured, complex wines, but still keeping that freshness that we have in the inland. So I think it's the good combination of freshness, complexity, tension, solidness in the wine. I think it's probably the key of the reds.
And like all the best wine tourism destinations in the world, you've great whites, you've great reds, you've now got Rosado as well, but you've got great food too, so it's great that you have this restaurant in the middle of the forest where we can come to enjoy the food of Ribeira Sacra with the wines that complement it. What are your favourite things about the food of Ribeira Sacra and of what you produce in the restaurant?
What I love about the food in Galicia or Ribeira Sacra is the simpleness. It's how simple it is. You don't need to do high elaborations. You can, of course, if you want, and you can do a great job with that, but just the minimum thing you can do to the product that we have here and you just enhance that quality of the product, of the original product. That for me is the key of all of this. How simple it is, and still yet how tasty, how deep the flavors are, with the fish in the coast, with the seafood, here with the beef, the boar that we are cooking as well, the porco celta, which is the factual variety of pork. The minimum you do, the better it gets, I think. So it's the simplest for me is the key of all this food.
And what it does ultimately is it connects the place, the people, the wine with the food, and it brings it all together, and this is the perfect place to do it. We're very lucky to keep coming back here. What do you think is special about this particular place?
Of our winery? For me, if you ask me, for me obviously is the connections that all of this surroundings has with my family. Because this is all started as a little plot. Not all of this was not all my family property, only where the new restaurant is there. That used to be the only plot my family used to have. My grandfather, Domingo, used to bring the cow here to eat, and the sheep, and so it started here as my grandfather by himself in these same spots, just bringing the animals to farm. Imagine telling him that today you and me, Jeremy, will be sitting down here with an Irish guy filming this for the rest of the world. My grandfather would never imagine something like this happening. So every time that I'm here, I'm thinking like, wow, this is going somewhere, and this is all my family work. My grandfather, my mother, my father, of course, our new generation doing things here. So the connotations with my family part is for me what keeps me excited and in a way emotionally connected with the place. For me, in my opinion.
It makes it extra special. And for an Irishman and a Gallego, the idea that you go away and then you come home to the family place and you make a success of it is very special, I think.
It is, absolutely, absolutely.
How do you see things now? Things have changed a lot with the pandemic. How do you see the future now here at the Algueira?
It's a good question with a not clear answer, unfortunately. We're still discovering and figuring out what is going to happen with the whole business, because it's what we were talking before with my mother, that they always told us like, well, whatever you do, the world never stops, and the world stopped eventually. So it's a new situation that nobody could expect. We are exporting our wines in many countries. All of this is very uncertain what is going to happen, but as you know, this company is not anymore just making wine. It's not only just harvest, it's not only the viticulture or the wine producing in the wine, which is still been the main part. But for us now, the wine tourism is really important. And all of this with the pandemic, in a way, keeping in mind that all of this has been terrible, of course, but for us has played quite good, because last year, for instance, many people that used to go to other countries or going to the beach in the Caribbean, they couldn't go. And most of the people, they stayed here. Last year, 2020, it was insane how many people we have here that wanted to visit. This place is good for us as well. We are in the middle of nowhere in the forest. It's space, plenty of space for everyone. So in that way, it's playing good because people want to come to these places now in terms of wine tourism. But with wine sales, it's not going bad. Definitely, it could have been much worse than it's been, and it's getting better and better. More countries are more interested. Now we're opening markets, which make us feel that it is going to be healed probably soon.
And may I say, I think after the pandemic I can make one very confident prediction that this will always be one of my very, very favourite places to come for lunch, to bring all of the things we've talked about together and to celebrate the wonderful things about the world of wine and Ribeira Sacra. So thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. My pleasure to have you.